me like a Hellcat.
Anime fans, fairy tale fans, what's good? The answer to that question, of course, is fairy tale. Fairy tale is what's good. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 strongest dragons in the fairy tale universe. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, fairy tale is a kid's show. Why are we talking about fairy tale? Well, even if they do skimp out on the death and the realisticness, even though I guess it's not realistic in the first place, but they skip. Even if all the characters have plot armor is what I'm saying, I still like fairy tales. Sue me. So this video, as I said, is going to be the top 5 strongest dragons in the fairy tale universe. And this list has some requirements. You are allowed to be a dragon slayer that turned into a dragon. That counts as a dragon. That's not any different from a dragon. I know that's pretty obvious, but just saying that from the get-go. And you have to be a dragon that we have seen. So what I mean by that is the 5 dragon gods of Giltana. We only saw 2 of them. So only 2 of them, Mercuphobia and Ignia, are eligible for this list, because the other 3 we have not seen with our own eyes yet. So they are not eligible for this list. Without further ado, let's get into it. At number 5, I have Irene Belserion, Erza Scarlet's mother. She was the person who originally came up with the idea of Dragon Slayer magic, so she is the mother of dragons. Or mother of dragon slayers, she's called both. Or she's called the Queen of Dragons, mother of dragon slayers, sorry. But she is the mother of dragon slayers. But Irene, what puts her above so many other dragons and at number 5 on this list is not her dragon form per se, it's her enchantment magic. Her enchantment magic is so powerful that it allowed her to become a dragon slayer in the first place. She's able to change landscapes with her magic. She was able to change the whole country's landscape and make it 1/20th as small and condense it all just with her magic. Just with her enchantment magic. So in her dragon form, with her enchantment magic, she can enchant herself to be so much stronger. Which is why I have her at number 5. I know Erza was able to slash her, but we know from that fight, Irene was struggling the whole time to pretend she didn't actually love Erza. She had so many chances to kill Erza, and she ended up killing herself. Erza didn't even defeat her. She was going easy on Erza, and ultimately killed herself because she didn't want to kill her own daughter. So we can see she had many chances to defeat Erza before Erza could do that. And Wendy's enchantment magic isn't no joke, but I'm pretty sure if she wanted to, Irene could have avoided Erza slashing her. She could have taken out Erza before it ever even came to that. So that is why Irene is at number 5. At number 4, we have Igneel, the Fire Dragon King, father of Natsu, or surrogate father, or whatever you want to call it, the fire dragon who raised Natsu Dragonmeal, who is more or less Fairy Tail's protagonist. Igneel, we did not see him do a ton, but we saw him do one thing that just guarantees him a spot on this list. And that is going head-to-head with Acnologia for a very long time. He went to head with the King of Dragons for a very long time, put up a good fight, and we got to see his fire dragon roar and flashbacks, which was destroying mountains and stuff. So Igneel was just a very, very strong dragon, one of the strongest dragons in the entire universe. He was said by other dragons to be one of the strongest dragons, so he is at number 4 on this list. At number 3, we have Mercuphobia, one of the water dragon god, one of the 5 dragon gods of Giltana. Of course, they're not actually dragon gods, that's just a title that the people gave them, but they are very, very powerful. Mercuphobia, at only half his strength, Natsu couldn't do anything against him, and he was one of the strongest dragons Natsu or anyone had ever seen at just half his normal strength. Natsu needed the help of another dragon god of Giltana, Ignia, to even take out Mercuphobia, to even hurt him. And once he got that power from Ignia, his fire. He ate Ignia's fire. He was able to destroy Mercophobia at probably mid difficulty, but still, at only half his strength, Mercophobia was that strong, and the 5 dragon gods of Giltana are said to be as strong as Acnologia himself. So that is another thing that just puts him on this list without even really having to do much analysis. So number 3 is Mercophobia. Number 2 is Ignia, the aforementioned dragon. Ignia is Igniel's blood son and the fire dragon god of Giltana. Ignia, why do I have him above Mercophobia? Hype. There's no way to really compare them since we haven't seen either of them go all out. We'll never even be able to see Mercophobia go all out unless it's in a flashback. But Ignia's got so much hype right now. Right now, he's the insurmountable object Natsu has to surpass. Ignia challenged Natsu to a battle and to get stronger so we can actually have a fair fight, which means Natsu's gonna have to become comparably strong as Acnologia to defeat this guy. And I think that Ignia is stronger than Mercophobia, not by a lot, but by a hair, just based off of the hype, because we can't really compare them, but Ignia has more hype than Mercophobia, considerably so, so that is why I have him above Mercophobia at number 2. And you all know who number 1 is, Acnologia. Acnologia, the person, or dragon, whatever he is at this point, who completely took over the Dragon King's Festival War and just killed basically everybody on both sides. In the words of Irene Belsarion, he emerged the sole victor. So, in a war between two sides, one man won. That was Acnologia. That is his power. So, he is just insanely strong. Like, his power blows my mind. Zeref couldn't even compare to him. Acnologia, he's a magic dragon slayer, which means he eats any magic no matter what it is. He is also probably one of the most physically strong dragons that we have seen. And why do I have him above the gods of Giltana? It is because even when they defeated Acnologia, they were only able to beat him with trickery by pushing him into the space between time. And even when he was in the space between time, they needed every single dragon slayer that was in the series, basically. Cobra, Laxus, Wendy, Sting, Rogue, everybody else, pulling their channel into Natsu. All the dragon slayers, Gajiel, just all of them pulling their power into Natsu to just defeat him in his human form. It was his human form, his spirit human form, in the space between time. So, all of that just to defeat his human form that was probably weakened anyway, in his weakened human form, all of that, and then in his dragon form outside, they had to contain him with Fairy Sphere. But even though they contained him with Fairy Sphere, he was started to break out, and they needed to call on the magic power of every single wizard in every single wizard in Fior to contain him, and he undoubtedly would have broken out of that eventually. So, even all the people in Fior would not have been able to contain him forever. They had to have his weakened spirit human form be beaten by basically all the dragon slayers that we knew of just to defeat him. They had to beat him using tricks and manipulate him. They only won because they manipulated him, but in brute power and force, no one can compare to Acnologia, except for the 5 dragon gods of Giltana. But even so, I believe Acnologia is just a little bit stronger than them. Not by a landslide, but he is definitely stronger than them, in my opinion. Until we see otherwise, there's no doubt in my mind that Acnologia is the strongest dragon to ever have existed. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, and only if you enjoy my content, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fairy tale and anime content. I will see you in the next video.